In this video, I'm going to do a complete beginner's walkthrough of the Bybit exchange. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover how to deposit and withdraw crypto. I'll show you the trading pairs and get you familiar with the user interface. We'll go over trading fees, and I'll show you how to place your first trades using a limit, market, or conditional orders. I'll show you how to set stop losses as well as take profit targets when opening your positions, how to secure your account using Google two-factor authentication, and how to create sub-accounts. All that and more with some tips and tricks along the way. This is a fairly lengthy tutorial, so out of respect for your time, I was sure to make some timestamps, which can be found in the description of the video down below. If you click on Show More and scroll down to the bottom, here's where you're going to find your time codes. So feel free to use these to skip to the section that might be most relevant for you. And once you've created your account on Bybit, don't forget to stop by the Rewards Hub and claim some bonuses. To do that, just come up here to the Promotions tab. From this drop-down menu, click on Rewards Hub. And on this page here, you're going to see all kinds of bonuses that you can claim. And if this is your first time signing up to Bybit, you're actually eligible for even more rewards of over $1,000 plus 12% APY if you sign up using my affiliate link in the pinned comment section down below. When you click on my link, that's going to bring you over here to this page where you can review the rewards table of the additional bonuses. When you're ready to sign up, just simply click on Join Now and follow the instructions from there. So remember, if you want additional bonuses, use the link in the pinned comment section down below. It also helps support this channel at no extra cost to you, so thank you very much if you choose to do that. I'm also going to address a frequently asked question, and that is, do Americans need a VPN in order to trade on Bybit? And the answer is yes. Of course, I don't promote any illegal trading, but I figured I would address that question now instead of in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit subscribe, as I'm going to be releasing more Bybit tutorials in the future, including the mobile app. Alright, I'm going to get my mug-a-lug out of the way, and let's get into the video. In order to deposit crypto to Bybit, just come up here to the top right hand side of your screen and hover over your username. From this drop down menu, click on My Assets, and that's going to bring you to this page here, which is your derivatives account. You can see that on the left hand side here. You'll see BTC, EOS, USDT, ETH, and XRP. And each one of these has a deposit button of its own, as well as a withdraw button of its own. So if you want to send in BTC, click on the BTC deposit button. In this pop-up window here, you would either scan this QR code or you'd copy this BTC wallet address. This is your deposit address. And the same process works with the other cryptos. I'll just close this out. Now let's say I wanted to send an ETH. I'd come down to ETH and I'd use the Ethereum deposit button. Once again, in this pop-up window here, you can scan this QR code or you can copy this ETH wallet address, as that is your Ethereum deposit address. If you want to make a withdraw from Bybit, you just simply use the withdraw button. So if I'd like to withdraw BTC, I'd come over to the BTC withdraw button, give that a click. And in this pop-up window here, I would select the wallet address that I wish to send to. So you're going to have to add an address, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But right here, I'd give this box a click. I'd click the BTC wallet address that I wish to send my Bitcoin to and select it. And down here, I'd either enter in the amount I wish to send, or if I want to withdraw everything, I would click on All, and then I would press Submit. So here's how you add an address. You'd come up to Wallet Address, and you'd click the Add button. And on this page here, you'd come over here to Add, click on Add, and here's where you'd select the asset that you wish to add an address for. So if it was Bitcoin, you'd leave that on Bitcoin, and here's where you would paste the address that you wish to withdraw to. So this is the address that you're going to be sending your Bitcoin to from Bybit. And then down below here, you can give your address a name. So you just name it whatever you like, and then you'd click Confirm, and that's how you add an address. If you'd like to add a withdraw address for a different asset, you just come up here, click on this, it becomes a drop-down menu, and then you would select whatever asset you wish to add an address for. So if you want to add an Ethereum address, you'd click on ETH, and here's where you would paste your ETH address that you wish to send Ethereum to from Bybit. And then you'd give it a name, click Confirm, and now you've added an ETH address. Easy as that. And if you want to swap one asset for another, you just come over here and click on Exchange. And on this page here is where you can swap the assets. So if you wanted to swap BTC to a different coin, you could come over here and you could click on this box and select one of these. So if you wanted to trade your Bitcoin for ETH, you just click on ETH. Down below here in the exchange amount, you can either type in a custom amount or you could use one of these options here like 25%, 50%. From there, you'd get a quote. And it's going to let you know how much ETH you're going to get for this, for the amount of Bitcoin you have here. And then you would just click on convert to ETH, and now your Bitcoin would be converted to Ethereum. Let's quickly go over the trading pairs as well as the user interface. So in order to see the trading pairs, just bring your mouse up over here and hover over trade at the top left-hand side of your screen. You're going to see a drop-down menu appear that has a few different trading options. So let's quickly go over these, what they mean, and I'll even give you a quick tip as to how I like to select which one of these I'll be using. First up is inverse perpetual, which are coin margined. And on the right-hand side here, you'll see that there's 4 options here: Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, and XRP. And what coin margin means is that all your profits will be settled in the underlying asset. So if you're trading Bitcoin versus USD, your profits will be settled in Bitcoin. If you're trading Ethereum versus USD, all your profits will be settled in Ethereum. And it's the same for EOS as well as XRP. It also means that you'll have to use the underlying asset to execute your trades. So you'll have to fund each one of these wallets. So if you want to trade with Ethereum, you'll have to fund your Ethereum wallet. If you want to trade with EOS, same thing. You'd have to fund your EOS wallet. Next up, you have your USDT perpetual, which are USDT margined. And what this means is that all your profits will be settled in Tether. So if you're trading Bitcoin versus USDT, your profits will come in as Tether. If you're trading Ethereum versus USDT, it's the same thing. All your profits will come in as Tether. You can also see that there are several other options here for Polkadot, Uniswap, Aave, just to name a few. And at the time of recording, this is the only way you can trade some of these altcoins on Bybit, is under the USDT margin. If you're going to be trading any of these USDT pairings, you're going to have to deposit Tether into your Tether wallet. Up next is the inverse futures, which are coin margin. And once again, all your profits will be settled in the underlying asset. On the right-hand side here, you're going to see that 2 assets are available here, Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, and a couple different expiration dates. I'm not going to go into detail about futures in this tutorial as it's already quite a long tutorial as it is. However, I am considering making a video dedicated towards futures trading in the future. So if that's something you'd like to see appear on my channel, be sure to mention that in the comments down below and I'll get after it and I'll get a video up for you guys. Now for the quick tip. If we are in a bull market and the crypto space is on its way to the moon, I will typically trade using the coin margined inverse perpetuals because I want to get settled in the underlying asset as it goes to the moon. If the market is bearish and we are in a bear market crypto winter, then I will use the USDT margin pairings so that all my profits get settled in Tether. The only other reason why I would use the USDT perpetuals is if I saw a clear and obvious setup on some of these assets that are only available in the USDT margin section. All right, let's go ahead and select one of these pairings and get you familiar with the user interface. So for this demonstration, I'm just going to simply click on BTC USD under the coin margin pairing, and that brings us into the user interface. The first thing you're going to see right here is your big old chart. To the right-hand side of that is going to be your order book right here. Down below that is your recent trades. And then to the right, you're going to see assets. And up above that, you're going to see your order form where all the magic happens. Down below, you're going to see on positions tab here, this is where all your positions that are active are going to be appearing once you place a trade. Beside that's going to be your closed P&L. Here is your active order. So if you have a resting buy or a resting sell order on the order book, that'll appear in here. You're going to have your conditional order tab here, filled order history, and then your mutual insurance will be visible here. Now you can actually, if you don't like this layout, you can actually adjust it. If you just hover your mouse over this right here, you can see that you can actually pull these panels around. And you can see I just made the chart bigger there, but I'm just going to drag it back this way because I do like this layout overall. But you can customize it so that it's easier on your eyes if you're not satisfied with this layout here. So let's get a little bit more familiar here with the user interface. Of course, take your time, get to know the tools here. You don't want to be rushing into trades until you feel really good and comfortable with how this works. As you can see, it is a lot different than your spot exchanges out there that you might be used to. But over here at the top left-hand side of the chart, you're going to see different time frames here. And if you want to select one, you can select the 4-hour by just simply clicking on it, the 1 hour by simply clicking, and of course your daily, which it should be on by default. I personally start with the higher term timeframes, beginning my analysis before working into the shorter term timeframes. But of course, there's various different methods of trading. If you're a scalper, you're likely going to be looking at the shorter term timeframes. If you're a swing trader looking to catch these bigger moves overall that play out over a series of days, likely you want to look at a daily chart. But for me personally, I always start with the higher timeframes, like a weekly, and then I'll work my way in. And as a matter of fact, I actually use different software for doing all my charting, and that is known as TradingView. I'm just going to drag it into the frame right here. But this is where I actually do my charting and my technical analysis. I do use a paid version of this, but if you're new to TA, you can use this for free. And while you're learning, I would suggest just using the free version. And I'll leave a link for this in the description down below, as well as in the pinned comments. And then down the road, if you sign up for a paid version, I do believe you'll get a $30 kickback on it if you use that link. So go ahead and take advantage of that if you are interested in TradingView. But if you want to add an indicator to the chart inside Bybit here, you just click on indicators, and then if you like RSI, you could just type that in, and then you see RSI come up here. Go ahead and click that, and then you can see it pop up down below. And of course, if you want a different indicator like Bollinger Bands, you could type that in. And then we've added Bollinger Bands to the chart as well. Let's go ahead and get rid of these Bollinger Bands here and take a closer look at the order panel. So over here, you can see that it's currently set to limit order, but if you wish to execute a market order, you'd click on market. And if you wanted to execute a conditional order, you just simply click on conditional. And we'll go over what each one of these does here in just a minute. Up above is your margin settings. So if you click on where it says isolated, you're going to see that margin mode tab will appear. And here's where you can toggle between isolated and cross margin. So if you want cross margin, you just simply click on cross. And for the isolated margin here, you can adjust your margin with the slider bar right here, or you can just simply type in the amount of margin you wish to use. So if you want to use an oddball amount, you could just type it in, 7.5, and away you go. Once you're happy with the amount of leverage you wish to use, you would just simply click confirm. Now you can see we're getting a little pop-up here that says a new leverage has been applied. And over here on the right-hand side, you can confirm that our isolated margin is now set to 7.5. And just below this order panel is the assets panel, where you can see your total equity in your account as well as your available balance. You can see that I just have some random Bitcoin shrapnel here in my demo account for today's demonstration. And unfortunately, that's only worth $272, so no Lamborghini for me. Great. Now that we've survived my terrible attempt at humor, we can see the contract details right here, BTC, USD. And if you click on the show button here, you can see that the open interest is available to be seen in here, 24-hour turnaround, 24-hour volume. And if any of you are new to trading and would like me to explain how I use things like the open interest to round out my trading edge, just feel free to leave that in the comment section down below, and I'll consider that for a future video. And it's important to know where to see the funding rate, which is located just up above your charts underneath promotions there. And you'll see what the current funding rate is, as well as the countdown. If you hover over top, you can see what the predicted funding rate is and the countdown to that prediction. And for those of you that are unaware of what a funding rate is, funding rates are periodic payments either to traders that are long or short based on the difference between perpetual contract markets and spot prices. Therefore, depending on open positions, traders will either pay or receive funding. Crypto funding rates prevent lasting divergence in the price of both markets. So when you see a positive funding rate like this, that means the long traders are paying the short traders the funding rate. And if you see a negative rate here, that means the short traders are paying the long traders the funding rate. Before I show you how to place orders, I quickly want to point something out to you regarding the order fees. If you come up here to contract info, a drop-down menu appears, and there's all kinds of good information in here that you can read through. But specifically, under inverse perpetual contract rules, if I click on that, on the left-hand side, come down to trading fee. There's a pretty good nugget of information here to keep in mind. And I'll quickly read this out. Bybit may charge a trading fee when an order is executed. The trading fee is incurred upon execution of an order. It is deducted from the wallet balance and won't affect the initial margin of the order. The trading fee is a negative 0.025% for liquidity providers, makers. Order enters the order book and increases market depth. In other words, traders receive trading fees as a rebate from the platform. So this is when you're using limit orders. The trading fee is positive 0.075% for liquidity consumers, takers. Order executed immediately and reduces market depth. In other words, traders pay trading fees to the platform. So essentially what they're saying here is when you use limit orders, Bybit will actually pay you in the form of a rebate of 0.025% for executing your trades. If you're going to use market orders, you're going to pay the exchange a 0.075%. So it's good to keep this in mind when you're executing your trades. All right, let's close this out and let's look at placing orders. All right, first order type is the limit order. So if you come up to the top right-hand side of the screen here to the order panel, you'll see that I already have this highlighted as limit order. And this is the order type that the exchange will pay you 0.025% for placing an order this way, because you're literally placing that order in the order book over here, essentially making you a market maker. And exchanges do like to incentivize traders to place their orders on the order book because you're providing liquidity, versus being a market taker by executing a market order, removing liquidity from the order book, and paying the 0.075% fee to the exchange. Up above it, you can see that the isolated margin is currently set to 5.5, and just a quick recap, if you wish to change that, you'd click on isolated here, or you can click on the 5.5, and this margin mode tab will pop up here, and here's where you can toggle between cross margin or isolated margin, and you can use the slider bar down below to adjust the margin that you wish to use, or you can just simply type it in manually with your keyboard like that. And once you're satisfied, you just simply click confirm. You'll get notified at the top here that a new leverage has been applied. And over here, you can see that that went from 5.5 now to 7.5. All right, let's move on to a limit order demonstration here and have a little fun with this. So I'm just going to click this little blue tab here, bottom left of my chart. You can see that these drawing tools pop up over here. You can find your Fibonacci retracements, all kinds of stuff in here. But just for the purposes of keeping this simple, I'm going to grab a couple horizontals. We'll just go ahead and toss one there for fun. Why not? And then we'll toss one right here somewhere on that pivot point there. So let's say you're looking at this through the lens of a bear. You're saying to yourself, you know, we've got some Wyckoff distribution up here. We've had the breakdown confirmed somewhere around this candle here. And then we saw the breakdown phase play out and not getting much of a throwback. We can see that throwbacks come up into that horizontal a couple times in the past year, you know, wicking up above it. But we also see the 200 simple moving average, you know, acting as resistance now that we've broken down below it. So you're thinking to yourself, you know what, there's a bit of confluence in there. I'm going to go ahead and try a sell order there, a resting sell. So what you do is you look at your horizontal here, coming in at 41,179. Come over to order price and you type that in, 41,179. Looks good. And then down here, you would put in your quantity. So for the demonstration, I'll just go a whopping one contract there. And of course, I'm on my 7.5x leverage here with one contract. So that's 7.5 contracts. Awesome. And when you're ready to execute the order, you just go ahead and click on sell short. And now we see the little confirmation window come up here. And a good thing to keep in mind here is the estimated liquidation price. And that's going to show us where that would be at 47,236. If all this checks out, you just go ahead and click confirm. Now you can see under active orders down below here, you can see that that order has been placed on the order book and all the details of it right there. If price action is to drift up into that area there, it would fill the position and you'd see it appear under positions tab. Remember that a limit order will only fill if price action reaches your desired entry that you entered into the order book. If you didn't get an order confirmation pop-up when you placed your order, you can toggle that on and off by coming up to your name, top right-hand side, come down to account and security, click on that. On this page here, come over to settings. And down below here where it says trade, there's a little box here that you can check on and off. And it's beside prompt confirmation window for orders. You can toggle it on and off by simply checking or unchecking that box. All right, let's do another example of placing a limit order. But this time, let's add a take profit and stop loss from the moment the order gets executed. So let's say you want to be a buyer of this horizontal down here at 34,415. You take that horizontal and you're going to punch that in. You're going to go 34,415 like so. And again, we'll do that whopping massive one contract for this demonstration here. And now what you're going to do is you're going to click on the buy long with take profit and stop loss. So you're going to check that box there. And let's say you want to manage your risk off this wick down below here from this horizontal here. And let's just say if you take your crosshairs, you know, come down just a little bit more, maybe around 28,417, you want to get out of the way of that. So 28,417, not 16, but 17. Great. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, so my take profit, why don't we target somewhere where the Wyckoff distribution broke down? So maybe we'll stick a horizontal, you know, maybe somewhere up in let's go to the candle bodies just like so. And you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I want to take some profit there. I can see that the 30 simple moving average is coming into confluence with that. That was the breakdown zone of the Wyckoff distribution. So it's not unreasonable to think that perhaps this does play out as more of a throwback and maybe we get a rejection in there. So you know what? I'm going to take my profit around that area. And you just type that in. You would just go 48,749 like so. And when you're satisfied with all that, you're going to click on Buy Long. And you're going to see a little pop-up, order submitted successfully. And of course, this comes up under your active orders. So now you're going to see your quantity. So we've got our massive quantity size here. We have the order price of $34,415. So this order is going to fill. If price action retraces to that horizontal, hits it, and then catches a bounce, which is exactly what we'd be looking for here. And the order type is open long, and then you see your take profit of 48,749, and you got your stop loss here at 28,417 in case price action decides to go against you here. If you wish to cancel the order, you would just simply click on cancel. Now the same thing can be applied to the resting sell order. You would just click on that box there, and you do the same process, but to the inverse of that. All right, let's talk about placing a market order. So let's say you're feeling a little bit like a FOMO sapien, and you insist on aping into the trade because price action's on the move, it's breaking out, and you need to catch a piece of that. Well, in order to do that, you're going to come up here to the order panel, and you're going to click on market. Before FOMOing into your trade, there's a couple things that I'd like to bring to your attention. The first thing is that when you execute a market order here, that's when you'll be paying that 0.075% fee to the exchange. But there's a quick tip I'd like to offer up for those of you that may not be aware. But when you click one of these buttons here, whether you're buying long or selling short, it's going to fill your order at the best available price. So if price action is moving very, very quickly, you may not get filled at the price you intended to get filled at. And sometimes it can open your position as a losing position out of the starting gate, and so therefore you're essentially operating from a deficit. So during times of high volatility, that is certainly something worth keeping on your radar. But if you insist on entering into the trade this way anyways, here's where you'd put in your quantities up here, or you can use one of these quick features. You could do 10% of your available equity, which you can see it down here, or you can do 25%, but in my case, I'll just stick to the to one contract. And when you're ready to execute the order, you'd either be clicking on buy if you're long, or you'd be clicking on sell if you're short. I'll just go ahead and click on sell short. Our little confirmation pop-up window comes up here. If everything looks good in here, just click confirm. And now you're going to see down here under positions, you'll see that I have an open position now. And the quantity of it is -1, has a value of literally 0 Satoshis. And you'll see the entry price that I got filled at, which was $38,022. And over here, you're going to see your liquidation price. And this is very important to pay attention to. Because if price is able to get up there, not rice, although I wouldn't mind some rice for dinner, if price was able to get up to that level there and hit it, then this position will be liquidated. You won't lose your entire account, but you will lose whatever you have at risk here. So it's always a good idea to keep your eyes on that liquidation. Now, this is because of the leverage. So up at the top right-hand side, you see that the isolated leverage here is 7.5x. And the higher you increase that leverage, the tighter your liquidation price is going to move to your entry price. So it's always a good idea to pay attention to that and use good risk management, of course. Over here, you're going to see your position margin. In my case, it is 13 cents USD. And here's where you'll see your unrealized profit and loss. And in my case here, I'm up 1.9%. Oh, here we go. I'm catching a massive move here that is worth literally 0 USD, even though I'm up 7% on this trade. Cool. Over here, you're going to see the take profit and stop loss. So if you wish to add those, you could click on this here. And let's say you're Warren Buffett and you think Bitcoin's going to 0. Well, here's where you'd be typing that in. But on a more serious tone, let's just say you're targeting 25,000. You type that in there. And for your stop loss, let's just say you're managing somewhere above this horizontal. So we'll just go 42,000 just for fun. And then you'd click on confirm once you're happy with that. And now you can see that I've added a take profit at 25,000 and a stop loss at 42,000. If you wish to add your trailing stop, you'd click on this add button. That's where you'd get that done. Over here on close buy, so you can ape out of your position by clicking that market button, but remember those nasty fees. Or you can use the limit option. You can just click on that, and then you can put your closing price in here. Once you're satisfied with that, you'd click confirm. And look at that, I got filled right on. So I'm out of that position. All right, moving right along to conditional orders. So back up here in the top right hand side to our trusty old order panel, we're just going to go ahead and click on the conditional tab. Here you're going to see two different types of conditional orders. You have your market conditional orders, or you can click this tab here for your limit conditional orders. But let's go ahead and start with the conditional market order. Let's come on over here to the chart and we'll come up with a fun scenario that helps make sense of a conditional market order. Let's say you're looking at your horizontals here, and you see that price action is just simply ranging between the two of them. And you're thinking to yourself that this range is going to break at some point soon, but you're just not sure which way it'll break. But you would like to catch the move when it happens. Here's where a conditional market order could potentially serve you. You can set a trigger price to open long just on the other side of your horizontal here at 41,179. To do this, you just come over to trigger price, and let's say you think 42,000 is appropriate. You just type that in right there. Just like so. Down below, I've already got the quantity in here, but here's where you type in the quantity of your contracts. I'll just go ahead and stick with one, or you can use any one of these quick features here. And once you're satisfied with your condition, which is your trigger price, you just simply click buy long. You'll get a little confirmation pop-up window here. Check it over. If it all checks out, hit confirm. Now you see under the conditional tab that we have an order ready to be executed if the condition gets met. You see that the trigger price is 42,000. That's your condition. So you need price action to hit 42,000 for this trade type to open long. Of course, the order type is market. So remember that 0.075% fee that you'll pay to the exchange. And of course, the status of this order is untriggered because the condition of price action hitting 42,000 has not been met. Now you can do the same thing to the downside. Your horizontal is marking support at 34,415. So you can come over here to trigger price and you could say to yourself, you know what? If price action starts breaking below that and hits 34,000, it's time to fill a short order. And of course, you put your quantity in, so you could just do one contract here. And if you're satisfied with your condition here, you just simply click on sell short. You'll get a little pop-up window here confirming the details. And if that all checks out, just hit confirm. Now you can see under the conditional tab, there's another order here ready to be triggered. You see that the order price is going to trigger at market. You see that the trade type is going to open short. Order type is market, so again, that 0.075% fee. And of course, the status is untriggered because price action has not met your condition, which is your trigger price of 34,000. Now you're all set. If price action melts to the upside, you'll get filled in a long position at 42,000. And if price action waterfalls to the downside, you'll fill a short position at 34,000. Okay, let's cancel these out and I will go over a conditional limit order. In order to put on the conditional limit order, just come up here to the order panel and click on limit beside market. Now this works quite similar to the conditional market order, except there's one extra step to it. And that's going to be your trigger price here. So in this case, you might say to yourself, you know what? My horizontal here at 41,179 will do for the trigger price. So if price action hits that horizontal, it's going to place an order on the order book for me. So you type that in as your trigger price. You'd go 41,179. And let's say you want to use that 42,000 like we had before. You just type that in just up above it here. You'd put in 42,000. Now, a quick tip here is that you want to make sure that there's enough breathing room from your trigger price to the price that you wish to fill at. Because if price action gets moving very quickly, if there's high volatility, you want to make sure that the engine has enough time to place that order on the order book before price action passes through there. If you put your order price too close to your trigger price, sometimes price action can melt right through there and it doesn't fill your order. So in this case here, we have almost $900 from the trigger price to the order price, so we should be just fine. If you're satisfied with that and you feel that these numbers are appropriate, you come down here and put in the quantity of the amount that you wish to trade, and you'd click buy long. Little pop-up window here, go ahead and confirm all that if it looks good. And now you're going to see that under your conditional order tab. So you see your 41,179 trigger price, which is your horizontal. If price action hits that level, it's going to put your order on the order book for 42,000. The trade type is going to be opening long, and the order type is limit. So unlike the market order where you pay 0.075% fee to the exchange, here you're going to get a negative rate of 0.025%, So in other words, the exchange is paying you in the form of a rebate to put on this trigger. And that's a big advantage of using these limit orders. Of course, you see that the status over here is untriggered because price action has not hit 41,179. But the moment it does, it's going to put your order on the order book for 42,000. Now we can do the similar process to the downside. So we'll come back over here to our order panel, and we're going to use our $34,415 horizontal as the trigger price. So we're going to put that in right here, 34,415. And then we're going to put the same number we had before. So we'll just say 34,000. And in this case, we've left $415 between the trigger price and the order price. So the engine should have enough time to get that order on the books for us, because we don't want to miss that trade. And if we're satisfied with all that, of course, we put in our quantity here and then we click on sell short. Confirm. And now you see that you have another conditional order ready to be executed. So if price action reaches 34,415, it's going to trigger an order that gets placed on the order book for 34,000. And the trade type is, of course, opening short. The order type is limit. And of course, the status is untriggered because price action still has not hit that bottom horizontal just yet. And that's a way that you could use a conditional limit order. Of course, use your own creativity and imagination on how you wish to leverage those tools in your own trading journey. Always a good idea to set your two-factor authentication for an extra layer of security on your account. In order to do that, just come up over here to the top right to your name, and you're going to come down to Account and Security. Click on that. That's going to bring you over to this page here, and you can see that my Google two-factor authentication is not set. So in order to send that, I'm going to come over here to the right, click on Settings, and it's going to say, please enter email code. So send the verification email. Might have to slide the little puzzle piece over here. Like so. Now I'm going to check my email and I'm going to put in my code here. Once you enter the code that you received in your email, you're going to come to this screen here and you're just going to go ahead and scan that QR code through the Google Authenticator app. Once you do that, you just enter your Google 2FA code in and you're all set. The green check beside Google 2-Factor is going to let you know that it is now enabled. All right, let's go over sub-accounts. So in order to create a sub-account, just come up here to the top right-hand side of your screen and hover over your username. From this drop-down menu, click on Account and Security. And on this page here, come over to the Sub-Account tab located next to Account and Security and give that a click. And you can create a sub-account by either clicking here or you can click up over here. Once you give that a click, you're going to get this little pop-up here, and it's going to have a little note with it saying username for a sub-account cannot be modified once created. So you're going to want to get this right the first time. So go ahead and just type in the name. And then put in a password. Once you're done that, you're going to have to put in a security verification code that's going to be sent to your email. Once you've done that, you'll see that you've successfully created a sub-account. In order to transfer funds into your sub-account, just simply come over here to Transfer Asset, give that a click. And in this pop-up menu here, you can select your asset by clicking here. I'll just leave this on BTC. And you just put in your amount down below here. So we'll just go like this. And hit Confirm. Now we see that we have that equity has arrived in our sub-account for 0.001 BTC. If you're looking to transfer your funds out of your sub-account, you just simply come over here, click Transfer Asset, and then click this little icon in the middle here. And that flips around the accounts. Now you're transferring out of your sub-account into your main account. And then just type in the amount you wish to withdraw. Once you're satisfied, just hit Confirm. Boom. Transfer in progress. And you see that I've transferred the assets from my sub-account back to my main account. If you want to log into that sub-account and place trades using that sub-account, you just click on Login. Get a little prompt here asking if you're sure you want to log out and switch to sub-account, and you just click Confirm. And then this is where you'd put your password in for that account. Once you put your password in, just click Login. Have yourself a game of Slide the Puzzle Piece. And here we go. Now we are trading from that sub-account. And if you want to go back to your main account, you just come up over here, hover over your sub-account, come on down and log out. And then you would log back in and you'd put your primary account credentials in. And once you log back in using your primary credentials, you'll see that your account will be switched back to your primary account. And that's how you create sub-accounts. And Bybit will allow you to create up to 20 sub-accounts in total. And that concludes this Bybit beginner's tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the description down below. And until I see you again, happy trading and may good fortune be upon you.